Hola, hola. Hello. Hold on, let me get all set here. How is everybody doing? I'm gonna make sure I got everything here for you. Okay, here we go. So if you have any questions, please just go ahead and write it down, and I'll be there for you. Just give me a little bit patient with me, right, so I can get this all right. Okay. Well, here we are. Happy that we're all here. As you come in, just please join us and let us know if you can hear us or not and how you're here. So let's go ahead. So what you are going to learn tonight, you're going to be debunking everything that you have known and been taught about the cardiovascular system. And before leaving here, you are going to have a completely different understanding about what cardiovascular health, about what cholesterol, why plaquing builds up, the way blood flows through your body. You are going to understand the heart, that the heart is not just a pump, right? You are going to leave here with a big understanding of a healthy heart and a healthy body. So I'm Dr. Liana Gresar. Hi, from Westward Chiropractic. And what you will learn tonight will be counter to what you have been told before. And this is your first experience with Max Living. Well, welcome. Happy to have you here. You are going to have the opportunity to plug into our community, come into the office, get checked, and everything, so just to make sure that you get everything that you need and that you're absolutely healthy. Okay. So for those of you that have heard some of the info from tonight, remember that we don't listen to the things once and remember it fully. And since I'm going to give you a lot of great information, you can just go ahead and write down one or two things that you want to work on, right? The most important things that you think you can change and handle. Remember that all the information in the world does not really create any change, right? Does not create transformation. What does create the change in your life is when you take what, right? When you take action with it. Okay. So this is very important. Listen, write what you think is most important for you, what you would like to create changes. Okay. So let's get on here, right? Okay. So this is ML Nation, and as you can see, we're all over, and in the United States, in Puerto Rico, right, of course, and of these other max living practices. We'll be doing this workshop during the month of May. We do this because we want to create a big change. We wanted to create a transformation of the people everywhere. So our purpose is to transform lives. We want to teach you to take ownership of your own health, teach you how to take responsibility of your own health, right? So also teach you what health really means and what it is and how you can accomplish it. And this is very important, right? So how many of you know how much more important it is in today's world to take responsibility of your own health? Definitely, right? It is not somebody else's job to be responsible for your health. It is not somebody else's job to keep you safe. It is not somebody else's job to make sure that you have the right environment, not just to be well, but also so that you can grow and thrive. Okay, so we want to empower you to live your best life. And this is our purpose, right here. Not just for us to be the standard of health, but also for you to be the standard in your own home. So once you have empowered yourself, you can then teach others, okay? You can then teach others, you can teach your family how to be responsible and empower them too. Do you agree with me that we need this more than ever, right? You see this, right? Okay, so 2020 taught us that fear, doubt, anxiety, depression not only plays a role on our psychological part of our health, but also a physiological role affecting your cardiovascular health. More people today, there are more people today with heart attacks and high blood pressure and pacemakers than ever. There's also a condition called Takotsubo syndrome. I know it's kind of like a weird and even a funny name, Takotsubo syndrome. It looks like a heart attack, but it is not a heart attack. All of the symptoms come from our psychological impact, right? From that anxiety, from that fear, from that stress that creates all those symptoms in our body. Okay? So, yeah, we definitely need to create some change. And right now, more people die of cardiovascular disease than anything else. Anything else. Second is cancer. So think about it. What is killing more people is not an acute virus, it's cardiovascular disease. And it is a chronic disease. It is a chronic lifestyle induced disease. And that is why we're going to learn today how to avoid it. Okay? How many of you know someone that has a cardiovascular condition? Maybe high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or have had a heart attack before, right? So many, right? It's like what, one in every two people are going to have some heart condition. So did you know that the CDC made a study that showed that people that died from COVID had 2.9 comorbidities, like heart disease, obesity, pulmonary problems. These people were already very, very sick. And if we don't want to be a statistics, we need to live very differently. We need to make changes in our daily habits. Okay, so the challenge is to be optimistic, right? Because yes, the future is bright, but you know what? You have everything within you to be healthy. The body is a self healing, self regulating. There is a regenerative potential within our body that is always, always working towards making us healthy. Okay, so is the trend of heart disease decreasing or increasing? What does the future look if we make no change, right? Think about it. So the important thing to understand here is that your body will never do something to put you in harm's way. It will always protect you. We have an innate intelligence that keeps our body responding very positively to the stresses that come towards us. Okay? There is a chiropractic principle, actually, chiropractic principle 25. And these are also universal laws of health that say that the force of innate intelligence never injure or destroy the structures in which they work. And this is fundamental to know when talking about heart health, and you will understand why when we talk about cholesterol. Okay, let's keep moving forward. So when we talk about how important nutrition is and what type of exercise we're doing, minimizing toxicity and the importance of the spine and the nervous system, we can't forget to talk about how important is our mindset, our mental health, understanding of philosophy, because at the heart of everything that we believe is that the body is brilliant. The body is intelligent. It is always working towards doing the right thing, what we need at the exact time that we need it, right? So we believe that we need to honor the body and respect the body, which is completely different than modern medicine. So tonight we're going to talk about 4 things that we need to do to start healing the heart. The first, identifying the cause or causes. Removing interference is the second one. The third one is to move strategically. And the fourth one is to balance the nervous system. So let's get going, okay? So what is the cause of heart disease? We know that diet and lifestyle play a large role in developing heart disease, but let's take a look at some of the science surrounding the development of cardiovascular disease, especially cholesterol. So what is cholesterol? Okay, we have heard about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, but this is not right. This is not correct, right? This is a complete lie. There is only necessary cholesterol. There are molecules that take the cholesterol from the liver to the site of injury and other molecules that take it back. This is all necessary molecules. This carries all the lipoproteins and are very necessary. In actuality, without these molecules, we wouldn't be living. So yes, they are very necessary. But why they were given the name good and bad is because when the artery or the blood is studied in a microscopic way, and not as part of the body as a whole and holistically, it is seen as that waxy substance that should not be there, right? So it is bad. And never the reason why that cholesterol was deposited in your artery is asked or even looked for. Did you know that cholesterol is made and increased in response to inflammation? Yes, inflammation is at the heart of why cholesterol exists. Okay, so you have a mentor that was diagnosed with a condition that was causing his cholesterol to rise. He had an inflammatory condition and his cholesterol went like up to the roof, like into the 400s and 500s. Okay, so now if you were to go into the emergency medical center and they find that of a high cholesterol, you're probably not coming out of there until they artificially lower that cholesterol. But the thing is that if that would have happened to him, he would have been stuck with that autonomic inflammatory condition for the rest of his life. So if the cholesterol would have been lowered artificially, healing would have not happened. That was in response to an inflammatory condition, but it was completely necessary, right? So we can't look at health from a microscopic lens without looking at the whole picture. Why is this happening, right? We need to ask those questions. So cholesterol, it's not good or bad, it's necessary, okay? So the truth about cholesterol. Cholesterol, it is the oxidation of cholesterol that causes heart disease, okay? That leads to heart attacks and strokes. You can see the other one. Truth, more people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol than with elevated cholesterol. Why is that, right? Because usually they're on statins, right? Statins is the number one drug sold today. What are some side effects of statins? Erectile dysfunction, right? Which, I mean, the second highest drug sold, do you know what it could be? Yes, Viagra. They sell the problem, they sell the use the solution too. It also causes neurodegenerative conditions like memory loss, like Alzheimer's. Why would statins cause this? Because when you lower the production of cholesterol artificially, it happens globally. It happens in your whole body. So guess what? Your brain is made of mostly, cholesterol, fat. So is it that your liver went bad and is doing a bad thing? Is it the genetic problem? And the thing is that once you're in it, you're expected to be in it for how long? Forever. And that is just the plan, right? Another truth, there is a higher death rate with low cholesterol than high. And you can see why, right? So cholesterol is completely necessary for us, for our body to work appropriately. Okay, and you see it here. It actually protects us from that inflammation, from that chronic inflammation. There's studies that show that completely. You have one right here, the importance of HDL and LDL cholesterol, right? We don't want to call it the good and the bad, but the necessary cholesterol, okay? Now, metabolic inflexibility. What is that, okay? This is your inability of your body to be able to adapt. And why would this happen? Well, when we are chronically poisoning ourselves, causing inflammation from the foods we are eating, not moving appropriately, our bodies will eventually retract. There is so much toxicity that our bodies were made to handle, and it eventually becomes inflexible, right? Our arteries walls will stop expanding and retracting as they should. And when we constantly create these environments that is not conducive to health, this is what happens. It's called metabolic inflexibility. All right, so we know that the number one cause of inflammation and chronic inflammation is what? It's sugar, right? Sugar flames the fire. It adds more to it. Some may say, oh, I don't eat sugar, right? The problem is that we eat a lot of other things that turn into sugar. like breads and rice and grains. I mean, all types of grains, they eventually turn into sugar, even healthy grains. Okay. So how about what we drink, right? The sodas, the energies. Do you get your coffee, like the frappuccinos with the caramel and the cream and the mocha and all those fruit drinks, right? This all feeds the inflammation in our body, and all the prepared foods and the salsas and the dressings, right? We're also feeding inflammation by the drugs that we're taking, like statins, right? Used for high cholesterol. So we hear this all the time. And these are patients and people that come here. Oh, I've been abusing my body for so long that maybe I do need this, but maybe I do need this medication. Maybe I do need this, to protect me and help me. Well, you know what? This is a very personal decision that you have to make. You choose what route you're going to be taking, because many times, depending on that route that you're going to choose, it's a path that will never stop. Okay, it's like, remember the movie The Matrix, when he had to choose between the blue pill and the red pill, right? The blue pill is living in the truth, knowing, being alive, being awake, knowing exactly what is happening. Or the red pill will be not knowing, living in this cloud, in this, maybe it will be easier, maybe happier, but you're not in it. You really don't know what is going on, and that will be okay with you. So which one are you going to choose? And this is a very personal decision, not one that your doctor or me or even your family member should tell you what to do. And for you to make the best decision for yourself, you need to know the risks, you need to know the benefits, and you need to know the alternatives, which you are never told, especially when you're talking about a drug that affects your brain health, like we talked about before, right? Which is going to have a life altering consequences. This is your decision, which means, what are you going to choose? What are the changes that you're going to be making? Okay. There are cholesterol supporting nutrients that you can do nutritionally that will help you out. Okay, these are natural ingredients with very, very powerful and positive effects on cholesterol. For example, curcumin, right? It decreases inflammation in your whole body. You need a good quality curcumin, takes the fire out of your body. Okay, CoQ10, right? This actually gets inhibited when you take statin medications. So CoQ10, it's like a cofactor for muscle tension, for brain health, and even memory. So when you are deficient in CoQ10, you may not only have muscle tightness and weakness, but also memory issues. This actually can save your life if you have taken lower cholesterol medications at any point in your life. It helps you recover from that statin abuse. Okay, I don't know if you heard of the red yeast rice. This will help with blood vessel viscosity. It helps to make the substance less hard and thick, so it's easier to move through your arteries and your blood vessels. It has been used for centuries for blood health and circulation. There's another one, the plant sterols, which is a molecule that's within the plants, also helps with blood vessel health. This is a God-given nutrient found in the greens, right? So we need to eat more greens. But there's also this supplement that will actually support health. Okay, these are all cholesterol supporting and especially helpful when you need to recover from the use of statins before. Okay, and so Emil has created this recovering from statins bundle, from which include the red yeast rice with the CoQ10, the curcumin, and the plant sterols. Okay, this is for those of you that have taken statins or actually need help with cholesterol. People that are struggling with cholesterol and start taking this, the cholesterol will start to go down, and not just that, but the plaques in the arteries also start to reduce. And this is because it allows the arteries to expand, right? And move appropriately so that everything can flow through those arteries. Okay. So why do these nutrients help so much? Okay. So what we understood in the past, okay, on how plaque happens in your arteries is actually not correct. Okay, you have heard that cholesterol, the waxy substance, goes and attaches to the artery walls, right? So this is not right. Okay, what is actually happening is that it is an immuno response that creates fatty streaks on the artery walls. It is an immune response happening as a result to inflammation, right? You can, check studies out in GrandMed Info or PubMed, and this is the new studies that what are showing and why this flex happens in our arteries. Okay, this is why all these nutrients help so much, because they go to the root of the cause. The more you understand the processes of the body, the better decisions you make for yourself, and you don't have to live in fear of this plaque actually killing you. Okay, so with the old way of thinking, you also have been told that fat is problem, and that is the cause of it all, right? So it is like the scapegoat, okay? And it has been for many years. We've been taught for a very long time that fats are unhealthy and they increase your risk of heart disease. And we're encouraged to instead replace good fats with refined fats like vegetable oils and canola oil and corn oil. And just that, and not just that, but we also heat up our oils, especially olive oil. When we do that, it becomes rancid, also causing inflammation in our body. I just heard this saying and I like it. I want to repeat it because I want you to learn it. It's called, if you say you fry oil, you fry health, right? It's kind of funny, but it's true. So you heat up olive oil, when you see that smoke, that's it. You have to throw it away and start all over again. The heat made it rancid, which is negative for you, right? It creates inflammation in your body. But most importantly, it's not just fat, right? It's the type of fat that you consume. So what are those bad fats? How about margarine, right? Remember I think they're still out there. I cannot believe it's not butter. It is actually not butter. It's one molecule away of becoming plastic. So, there is an experiment done with ants that you put margarine in one side and you put butter in one side and you put it outside and you give it some time and you see how the ants will actually go where? To the real butter, not to the margarines. And they know this, right? So let's just stay with the real butter instead of using artificial things made in labs, okay? So the other thing, think about it, right? It is very, very difficult to extract oil from vegetables like corn, right? So compare it to pressing an olive oil. You're going to get oil from it, a lot of oil, but try to do it in a corn and see what happens. Absolutely not a lot, right? So just make sure that you do get olive oil, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, avocado oil. All of these are very, very, very healthy for ourselves, and it actually helps decrease inflammation. How about hydrogenated oil or partially hydrogenated oil? It's found mostly in packaged foods. So when you are in your grocery store and you're looking for things and you find something, this looks good, look at the ingredients part and see what it's actually made of. And if you see this names, hydrogenated oils or partially hydrogenated oil, put it back on the shelf, not on your cart, okay, but on the shelf, okay? So no vegetable oils, no corn oil, or even Canadian oil company, right? I think that's what canola oil got its name from. This is interesting, right? This oil, the canola oil is extracted from rapeseed, which is very terrible name to market. You can see that, right? This is why they changed the name to canola oil. But they also market it as having low fat. This is because it is very, very little fat, which is super processed and refined, that actually harms us and creates more inflammation in our bodies, okay? So let's talk about removing interference. And we do have interference. There's interference to the regenerative potential of your body, which is in our heart, that can heal our heart. This is, great news. And I'm sure you've heard before that, maybe the liver regenerates again. Well, also the heart does. the brain has that regenerative potential also, right? Given the right circumstances towards the body. So your body is so intelligent, very, very intelligent, but we need to give it the right environment for it to be able to do that. Okay, there are some principles that govern our health and our body. So let's talk about a little bit of food, right? There is food by man and food by God. Very easy, right? What's food by man is food made by manufacturing, highly processed, refined foods created in labs. What is food by God? It's food that is found in nature, not processed. It's from the earth. It is designed for us to eat and has been here since the beginning of times, right? This is what our bodies are created to be able to digest and assimilate, the food by God. Now hear this. If you take supplements, right, and are still eating food by man, you're still going to create issues in your body because you are negating the raw material that your body needs to actually work and function appropriately. It's like turning your thermostat and keeping your windows open. It is very expensive. So for your body also, it's like a very important molecule, nitric oxide. Okay, so nitric oxide is a molecule known as the miracle molecule. It is a molecule that your body produces to help relax those blood vessels and increases the circulation. So your body must produce this nitric oxide to allow nutrients, blood, and oxygen to circulate through your entire body. So studies say that when you turn 30, your body decreases the amount of nitric oxide that it creates. So we need to help it, right? We need to increase the molecules that it needs to be able to create more. And we can do it through foods like pomegranates and beets and garlic, right? They stimulate this nitric oxide production and decrease inflammation, right? Also, supplements. Supplements could be thought as the nutritional insurance, right? Supplements provide many, many benefits to health, including supplying nutrients that you may not be getting from food alone, right? Our food, we know this, right? Our food does not have the nutritional quantity or the quality of nutrients, right, that it once had. So we need to supplement our body with extra help, right? Okay, let's continue here. So, and this is very important to see and to understand, is that you do not treat high blood pressure. You do not treat cholesterol with supplements or with anything. You treat it by the way you live. And it is a byproduct that your blood pressure and your cholesterol are going to self-regulate on its own, because we have this intelligence within us that is always working towards health and balance and homeostasis, right? So give curcumin to a dead person. What's going to happen? Absolutely nothing, right? There has to be life inside of you for all of this to actually work. Okay, so high blood pressure, it's another warning sign for heart disease. Okay, and this high blood pressure, it's called what? It's called the silent killer, because you don't feel it. So having symptoms, it's actually not bad. It's actually good, right? It's your body letting you know that there's something wrong. So the healthier and more in tune you are with your body, the better, because then you can do something about it. Okay, so let's talk about what is blood pressure and what is not. Okay, so blood pressure is a microscopic view of a dynamic process that happens in your body. So we can't determine if we have heart issues just by measuring blood pressure. That's just one measurement in a huge system that is always changing and moving. Okay, there's a lot of people that are not in the normal range of 120/80. Some are higher, some are lower, and that might be their normal, right? So let's say that you're going through a tough time at work, right? And are stressed out. This is going to increase your blood pressure. Okay, so you go to the doctor, you get your blood pressure tested, and it's high. What's going to happen? What's the probability? Is that you're going to usually get that high blood pressure medication, and it's going to usually be for the rest of your life when you not necessarily need it. It was just an event that was happening at that moment, right? So the research is telling us now that it is not blood pressure that we need to measure, but pulse pressure. What is pulse pressure? So pulse pressure is the difference between the numbers. So if you have a blood pressure of 120 over 80, your pulse pressure will be 40. Yeah. So if your blood pressure is now 130 over 90, the pulse pressure is still 40, and that is okay. So the difference is what you want to measure. So everything should be in that same range. You see, if we understand how our bodies function and understand that everything that is happening has a purpose, we do not need to artificially manipulate it. Again, your body has an intelligence that is keeping you alive and that is always thriving for health. We just need to make sure that we give it what it needs, all right? Like the many raw materials that are beneficial for supporting our health, blood pressure in this case, right? Like L-arginine may help open the arteries. Bonito peptide powder, right? It's a source from the dried fish and may help support blood vessels relaxation and increase circulation. And it is one of our supplements called BP support. Also, grapeseed extract. It helps promote nitric oxide production and lowers the blood pressure, right? So there's many things available, many alternatives that you can use to help and support your body in doing what it needs to do, right? Decrease that inflammation, and everything else will actually follow. Okay, so this is our high blood pressure bundle. Okay. NOx support, which is it's organic, it's non-GMO. You got the BP support and the L-arginine. Everything tonight, if you're interested, it's 20% off. This is something that we never do. We never give it 20% discount. But I think this is very necessary when we're talking about health issues, especially because it is the number one, right, killer. So we need to do something about it. So next step to healing our heart. Let's look at doing strategically moves. Okay, so you know that 65% of Americans, right, they stopped working out at all in 2020, right? It was during the quarantine and because all the gyms, they closed down, right? But the reality is that you don't need a gym to work out and stay fit. And you also don't need to work out for an hour just to get what you need. You just need to do 20 minutes of it. Okay, so you just need intentional movement, right, to create the change that you need. A lot of studies show that the short duration, high intensity exercise is the best type of exercise for the heart. So this type of exercise involves doing short periods of a time at a high intensity. It's called usually intervals. So what it does, it builds lean muscle. It burns fat, takes stress of the liver. It takes stress of the heart, right? And when I say lean muscle, I'm not talking about getting bulky and big, right? Women usually don't want to do that. But this type of exercise challenges the muscle to burn fat, to take the stress away. It rebalances a lot of hormones, especially the stress hormone, right? Which is, and the best part is just like 20 minutes. So you don't need to spend a lot. And we have many resources like Max T3 on the go that we give you. Another source is like this 30-day of motion challenge, right? You can text the keyword challenge to our clinic's phone number, which is 303-862-7708. And you will receive this booklet so that you can get your 30 days of movement and really challenge your body so that you're strong, so that you have more energy, so that you can create health. Okay, so remember, just text the keyword challenge to our phone number 303-862-7708, and you will get this booklet. Okay, easy. Okay, so the last step to the healing heart is balancing our nervous system. Okay, so have you ever heard of being told, kind of like, hey man, just calm down. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack. Have you ever heard that or said that? Yes, right. And that is because your mindset has a very powerful influence on your overall health. There is this book called The Mind Over Medicine, and it shows you and talks about how placebo works over surgery, over procedures, and how powerful your thoughts are to the point where you no longer have that condition. Yeah, it is very, very powerful. So if you want to go ahead and read that, to Mind Over Medicine is what the book is called. There are two big parts of your nervous system: the central nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. Okay, and look what Thomas S. Cohen is, a medical doctor, and he's very, very respected in that field. And he said that most heart attacks are likely caused by an imbalance in your central nervous system and your autonomic nervous system, which controls the function of your internal organs. Right? So most heart attacks happen when there is an imbalance in your nervous system. So it's not only about how you think, which we innately know that it has a profound impact on our health, but it is also about what we do, right? So remember, your nervous system is made up of your brain, of your spinal cord, and the nerves. The brain is what controls how we perceive everything that is happening around us and inside of us. Okay? The central nervous system then governs how we learn from experience, how we remember, how we direct our movements, how we communicate with each other. It even controls the functions of our organs, including our heart. So it makes sense that the central nervous system is the most important system in your body. I mean, you can, pump a heart and revive it, but you can never do that to your brain, right? When your brain's gone, it's gone, okay? And think about it. Your nervous system is the only system in your body that is well protected by bone, by your spine, right? And your brain by your skull. But at the same time, it is the most neglected system in our body. The spine is there to protect your nervous system. So it receives all the different types of stress, from sitting down for hours in front of a computer, to bad nutrition, to emotional stress, to sport injuries, to car accidents, right? Over time, your spine is going to react to this stress, and it misaligns, it shifts, creating curvatures that it doesn't have and loses the ones that it needs. Okay, so all this stretches the nerves, stretches your spinal cord, putting your nervous system in a state of stress. And if your nervous system, which governs everything, is in stress, guess in what state all of your organs and the processes in your bodies are going to be at? Yes, in stress. In a state of health and growth, or in a state of stress, deterioration, and sickness. So to get to that stress away from your nervous system and your body, we need to eliminate those deviations, that are called subluxations, right? And how do we do this? With chiropractic adjustments and specific exercises towards the spine. For us to be able to help you and identify what the root problem is, we need to do the superficial EMG, which is the nervous system study, and ultimate x-rays of your spine. So the goal is for your nervous system to work its best. When your nervous system is functioning optimally, you are doing life at its best, right? If you lose your health, you lose everything. Well, if you gain your health, then you gain the world. This is when you gain independence and you are empowered to do what it is that you are here to do, right? When you're in health, you have a life with limitations, okay? And this is what we do. This is what we focus here in our office, in our clinic. Is not, we help people be at its best, function at its best capacity through the spine, through the nervous system, okay? This is something that I don't know, do you want to do it for a short period of time, or do you want to work on your health forever? Right? Forever. And the people that are already here, hopefully you're doing your wobble exercises every day at home, and this is something that you should be doing forever. The spine works the same way as your teeth, but I think the big difference is that you can see your teeth, you can see how they're rotting and how they're getting dirty and ugly, but you cannot see your spine, so you cannot use that as a measurement. That's why we need to be on top of it all the way, right? So for those of you that haven't have your nervous system checked, we always offer discounts in our events. So for the consultation, evaluation, nervous system study, and X-ray, we typically do it for $195. We're offering for $50. So if you haven't had your nervous system checked, or someone in your family haven't got their nervous system checked, this is the time, right? So you just need to text the word nervous system to our phone, right? And we'll be contacting you to set an appointment for you. Text nervous system to 303-862-7708. Okay, and we'll be reaching out to you to help you set that appointment and see what's going on, how you're doing. Okay, so this is for everyone, right? Cardiovascular wellness bundle. It's an excellent bundle for you if you are simply looking to support overall cardiovascular health and wellness. But we have our other bundles: the cardiovascular balance, the high blood pressure support. We show it all to you, what they're used for how they can help you, and hey, most of all, you got a 20% discount if you need one. Okay, so that will be all for today. Hopefully you got great information from tonight. There's things that you can apply just now. Please call us, text us, and we'll be right there for you to help you out. Okay, and then just stay connected with us. See our upcoming events and everything that we're going to be doing. All right, have a good night. Let me check this.